Alright guys, Sulfurous MTG back with another video. Today we're playing Rakdos Aggro. Well, kind of. Got this list from MTG Rebellion State of the Meta. They're an awesome channel. Anyway, let's jump in this deck. So in the 1-drop slot, we got the Dreamthief. Comes in, we get the Surveil, some card selection. It's in the graveyard. Could die early, draw us a card. Really nice. 2-drop slot, we got Inti. We get the discard thing, buff our creatures. We get more card advantage. We also got Harvester. It's about the best 2-drop Rakdos card we have. Blood tokens, so we can cycle through our deck if we need to, or we can kill something by sacking the Harvester. 3-drop slot, we got Gix and Preacher of the Schism. Preacher of the Schism has been everywhere here lately. So 3-drop 2/4 with Death Touch. When it attacks and you have less life than your opponent, you get a 1/1 Spirit token. If you have more life than your opponent, you get to draw a card and lose a life. And then finally, round out the curve, we got Geological Appraiser and Archfiend of the Dross. Appraiser's just great value. Why not? The mana base supports it. Archfiend of the Dross, a big player that can end the game quickly, and whenever your opponent has a creature die, they lose 2 life. Great for squeezing that last few bits of damage. Anyway, like, comment, subscribe, stick around for this gameplay. Oh, and before I go, remember, I'm participating in the streamer Kumite put on by Ace MTG. Check out all these great creators. Alright, let's get these games. Alright, pretty solid hand. We got a 1-drop. Bit heavy on the 4 drops. That's okay. Opponent starts off with a tap land. That's already great. We can get down to Dreamthief. See that Preacher? Great card. Help smooth out a curve a little bit. I'm gonna get in for 1 here. See if he'll waste a removal spell on that Dreamthief. He doesn't go for it. Play our second land, pass it back to our opponent. Restless Vents. Starting to flood out a little bit. We'll get in for 1, get down to Preacher. He's going to immediately kill it. Opponent's got a lot of Field of Ruins there. It's kind of weird. It's definitely an odd deck. Let's play this Appraiser, see what kind of value, and we find a Preacher. Nice.
Let's go.
Alright, opponent's going to ramp here. Big score. We get in for 1, take him down to 17. They get to play Cruelty. It's not much in their graveyard, so they're going to take a peek at our hand. Get rid of one of the Archfiends. Draw Takenuma. Hold that for a minute. Get in for a pretty big attack here. Draw another land. They slam the Archfiend and put them on a 1-turn clock. They're going to tutor here with Cruelty. They got to find something to clear the board, or we got them dead to rights. Opponent's thinking pretty hard. They go down to 8. They got something. My guess is the Brotherhood's end. Yep. There goes Appraiser. Bye-bye Preacher. At least we got the Archfiend. Unfortunately not. Alright. Not completely over though. Play the Takenuma. Mill some stuff. Get back our Archfiend. Unfortunately, Cruelty gets to pop off. The opponent can get back something from our graveyard. He's going to bring back the Deep-Cavern Bat and take our Archfiend. Slams a Virtue of Persistence, and he's starting to turn the corner. We're a good bit ahead of him on life, but it's going to be rough. We still have a chance. Draw a Deep-Cavern here. Opponent brings back Preacher. Plays an Atali. Gets an Inti off his Atali. And this is pretty much over. Not a lot we can do here, unfortunately. So pump up the bats, gain some life, back up to 12. See what he's got in his hand. It's a big score, might as well take it. Play the Inti. But we really don't have a hope here. Pass it back to our opponent and we just scoop it up. We go into sideboarding. And I'll take the sideboarding with a grain of salt. I'm going to bring in some Duresses. We're going to cut an Archfiend or 2. Get rid of some cut downs because it doesn't seem like he has early creatures. And try it like that. Now please If there's a better way to sideboard, let me know down in the comments. Let's all learn and get better at this game together. Decent hand. We got a 1-drop, a 3-drop, and a 4-drop. We got all the lands we need. Start off here with a Swamp and the Dreamthief. And get rid of that land. Definitely don't want any more. Second Dreamthief. Not the worst draw. Found an Inti. It's pretty good. Get in for 1 here. Player Inti and try to get some value. But the opponent immediately kills it. Opponent Virtues a Persistence, gain some life back, but we get the Appraiser. I'm going to hit a Bloodtithe Harvester, get in for 1 here. Starting to have a pretty decent board. Hopefully we can draw some cards this turn with Gix. At least that's what I should have done. But I suppose I was worried about sweepers. So I end up playing nothing. He kills the Appraiser. We take him down to 14. I'm going to draw here with Dreamthief. Play our second land. For whatever reason, I don't play Inti. Play our land, get down, Gix. Get down, Inti. We got something to discard here. Go for a big attack. Let's see what the opponent has. He's got a big score in response. That's good news for us. Pump up our Harvester. We draw our Appraiser off Inti, but we can't play it. Then we get a bunch of lands. Opponent's got all the mana. He's on Brotherhood's end. I'm going to draw. I try to get some value off this Inti before it's gone. We pick up a land, but we do get Bitter Triumph. Player man land. Draw with Dreamthief. Get down to Inti. Feel to ruin our man land. It's unfortunate. Breach the multiverse. This could be trouble for us. Let's see how lucky our opponent is. He gets Deep-Cavern Bats and a Chandra. I almost killed that bastard in response, and then I remember Bitter Triumph hit Chandra. So we discarded the Inti, killed the Chandra. Luckily, I didn't forget that. Otherwise, I'm not sure we could have beat Chandra. Play our own bats. We're going to take a Tali, force them to use removal on the bat instead of the Inti. Try to create some value here. Take them down to 6. Play our man land. Draw a card with Dreamthief. We get another bat. Opponent's going to attack for 1 here. Back up to 7. Burns down the house. Clears the board. We draw a man land. We get the player bats. Take his Atali again. I'm sure that's annoying for the opponent. Get the attack. Take the opponent down to 5. Goes for the throw. The bat gets his Atali back yet again. Burn down the house. Gets a bunch of devils. It could be a problem for us, but we draw the Archfiend. We get to fire up the other man land and go attacking. He blocks. He gets to kill our man land, but he loses 4 life thanks to Archfiend of the Dross. He needs removal for Archfiend or we got this game locked up. Plays the Atali. Gets the Cruelty and the Cut Down. But there's nothing to cast Cut Down on except his own creature. Just gonna bring back Deep-Cavern Bat. We draw a Preacher, but it's not needed and we just need to attack. He gains 1 and then loses 2. Alright, on to the final game. Finally cut those cut downs, bring in a Shieldred. Alright, can't keep that. That's a little better. We'll throw back an Appraiser. Start off with a Duress. Take his removal. Player Sokenzan, get down to Inti. Just slam Preacher here. He's gonna filter ruin our Blackcleave. We'll grab a mountain. Not gonna discard. We want to hit this Appraiser and this Archfiend. Really keep the pressure going. He kills our Appraiser, but we get to keep Preacher. We'll slam an Archfiend out of the Dross. Now we got him on a 2-turn clock. He's on Demolition Field. Our Sokenzan, that's fine. We'll pick up a Swamp. Can't quite cast Appraiser now, but not a huge deal. We'll take him down to 8. Play our Mountain. Let's Duress him. See what he's got going on. No sense in playing anything. Don't want to overcommit and play into a sweeper, and he scoops it up. Alright, pretty solid hand. No turn 1 play anyway, so we can drop this Vents on 1 Harvester, and then Preacher, and then hopefully Appraiser. Looks like we're up against Golgari. Opponent gets down, Tenacious Underdog here. We're going to take some beats for a while, but it's not the end of the world. Slam this Harvester. Opponent plays a tap land and goes attacking. We'll play Gig, see if we can get some value. But opponent has to go for the throat.
It hurts, huh? It hurts.
4th land for opponent. Virtue of Persistence on our Harvester. It goes back to 19. We're taking more damage here. We drew the Deep-Cavern Bat, so I think we're going to take a peek at his hand. Let's see what he's got going on. Take his Brawler here. Play the Harvester. Pass back to our opponent. Opponent's going to fire up his Cottage, which I completely forgot about. So we're actually going to trade here. We don't want to take 7. Go down to 10. Play our land. Let's play this Appraiser, see what kind of value we get. We find an Inti, which is sweet because we can pump up that bat and gain some life back. We can get a bridge off the discard trigger. Fortunately, we can't play it, but at least we won't be drawing it next turn. Opponent's going to blitz the underdog. Go attacking here, but we got life leak on the bat. Not too worried about it at the moment. We go back down to 9. Opponent gets a draw, but we got him pretty good here. Let's go for a big attack. We're gonna pitch this Dreamthief. It's more useful in the graveyard anyway. Go back to 12. Find a Preacher off the Inti trigger, which is nice because we can save the other Preacher in case we need to discard it later on. Opponent's down to 7. He's going to play Lord Skitter. And Abrade's Arisen Nightmare. Goes to combat, gets his rat. He has to eat something, but it's not really relevant. I think opponent knows he's dead because he kind of goes AFK for a while here.
One eternity later.
Any moment. Don't do this. If you're dead, just pass or concede. Let's move on with our lives. Alright, we draw a land, but all we have to do is attack out, pump up the bats, and it's a good game. And apparently that was enough for the opponent to concede the entire match.
Disappointed!
Unfortunately, we got to throw 2 cards back here, but we got to turn 2 bats. We'll start off with this Blackcleave Cliff. Opponent opens up the tap land. Let's take a look at their hand. I want to get rid of that Brawler. They play a recruitment officer. We got the cut down for it though, so it's not too bad. I'm gonna slam the Inti here. Try to set up for next turn. Hopefully I have something we want to discard. We're gonna play a wedding announcement, so we're gonna cut down the recruitment officer in response. Get in for attack here. We're gonna pitch the Archfiend since we can't play it anyway. Push through a little bit more damage by buffing the Inti. Draw some cards here. We get another bat. Opponent gets down a Warden of the Inner Sky. And holy crap, that's a lot of wedding announcements. We draw a creature to Schism. I'm gonna attack in here. I'm gonna pitch the Deep-Cavern since there's not too much we want to take out their hand anyway. We do get a land off of Inti. We can play that, get down a Preacher, and play the Dreamthief. Pretty wide board. Feeling pretty solid here. Opponent draws another Brawler and gets that down. Coming down as a 3/3. Tramples. Pretty decent that. They're going to scry with the Warden of the Inner Sky, excuse me. And get some wedding announcements triggers. I'm gonna get in here with the Preacher and the Deep-Cavern. Pitch our extra land. Try to gain some life here. Get back up to 20. We do hit that Bitter Triumph. That Botanical Brawler's looking like a pretty sweet target right here. We get to take out 2 of his tokens. We're going to draw some more cards. We get another bat. We can take his last removal spell. Play land, get down the Bloodtithe Harvester. And we're about looking pretty solid. Just going to put some counters on Warden. That's a really big Warden. I'll attack here for 6. I decided to block it. Perhaps I could have waited. Didn't necessarily need to block at that moment, but this Warden presents a pretty big problem for us. We draw with the Dreamthief. We hit a land. Not much health though. We're going to go for a big attack. I decide
Let's go.
to buff up the bat so we can gain a little bit more life. He's going to block our Inti. It is a card draw, and then decides not to. He's going to get rid of one of our bats and get a Bushwhack back. Double blocks the Inti. We're going to trade a Gix, trade a Bloodtithe Harvester. We get to draw some cards here. We can slam this Archfiend into the draws. And now it's 2-2. Unfortunately, his Warden of the Inner Sky is still bigger than our Archfiend. That huge attack could have been a mistake here. Maybe a little carried away with that. Now he's going to take care of our Archfiend. Get a 2/2 Knight that instantly becomes a 4/4 thanks to both wedding announcements. Play a Mountain, draw with the Dreamthief. We get a cut down, but his board is too big. We can't do anything about it, unfortunately. And we scoop it up. Going to sideboarding. Bring in some sweepers, which looking back now probably wasn't that good. Take care. We're going to take out the bats. Decent hand. We're going to throw back a land. We can start off with the Dreamthief. We can turn to Harvester. Excuse me, we're going to do a Hard and Ridge so we can turn to Harvester. Here we go. Get on this tap land. Buff up the Inti. Bump up with the Inti and try to be really aggressive here. He gets down the 2/2 Knight. Gonna Bushwhacker Inti, which really sucks because we're hoping to ride that to victory. We draw a cut down. Go attacking. Take the opponent down to 13. I'm gonna play this Dreamthief. Found a Gix on top, which is pretty good. I'm gonna place a tap land. Just down this 3/3 that only allows us to cast one spell each turn. Definitely a bit of a problem. We're gonna cycle this land. Get the Gix. We draw an Appraiser, but unfortunately we pitched our fourth land. Alright, still looking pretty solid. We do get that fourth land eventually. Opponent's going to go with a Beast Collar. We're going to cut it down in response to this wedding announcement before it gets out of range. Draw a Preacher of the Schism here, not bad, but we're going to go with our Appraiser. And that's why I said these board whites were perhaps not that good. We hit with our Appraiser, but we can't get any value out of it, and it would just be a one-sided wrath right now. He gets down this 3/4 that grows Ward 2, I believe. Again with a Dreamthief and play our Preacher. Looking pretty solid, but opponent gets down a Warden of the Inner Sky and taps out for his Virtue. Things are going to grow pretty quick. We need to end this game. And unfortunately, Brotherhood is in. Doesn't even clear his entire board. We do draw a bit of Triumph right here, so that is good news. Let's take out that 5/6, pitch our extra land. He's on double block. Preacher, we get to take out both his tokens, and he's left with just a Warden. Hopefully that hope lasts for a little while. Gonna draw a card with Botanical Plaza. It's an interesting card, haven't seen that in Standard Queue in a while. We do draw Gix. Get in with our Restless Vents. We're gonna pitch that Brotherhood. Brotherhood's in and get an Appraiser, which is pretty nice. Drawing a lot of cards here. Starting to look pretty decent. We got him down to 7. He gets down the Brawler though. It's instantly a 3/3. It fires up a Manland, which I definitely didn't see. And it's a huge problem for us. There's a big attack coming in. I decided to let it through because if we can find an answer for Brawler, we got lethal. But I forgot about Virtue untapping. We draw a land. We got the Preacher. I'm going to play the Appraiser, see what we hit. We do get a Bloodtithe Harvester, which is something. We got a pretty wide board. Can't attack, unfortunately. And our opponent draws removal for a flyer. So only to rub in our faces by attacking with the Manland. This deck is not bad. I went 2-2. You didn't see one of those games. It was just a non-game. I don't know if I'd call this Rakdos Aggro. I don't know if I'd call this the best Rakdos deck either. Rakdos Reanimator I think is way better. Has more tools to deal with anything it comes across, and it has a much bigger top end. And even in ways can be faster, reanimating the Carnosaur on turn 5, usually enough to make your opponent scoop. If I was going to continue playing this deck, I think the Dreamthief's got to go. I think we need to evolve sleepers. Bloodtithe Harvester is fine, but I'd like to find some room for some underdogs. Geological Appraiser is great because it's a 2-for-1. You get 2 cards for 4 mana. But I don't know if it really belongs in an aggro deck. Archfiend of the Dross, great top end, 4 mana flyer. Get that last few bits of damage in. But it's also a weird inclusion in an aggro deck. I would start with those couple of changes, finding some tenacious underdogs and putting in the Evolved Sleeper. Bat, I'm also on the fence about. Other than that though, it's a solid deck, but I'd call it mid-range, not aggro. But maybe I just didn't get the right draws and I'm playing it wrong. Give it a try yourself. Let me know down in the comments how it goes. Like, comment, and subscribe. We'll see you in the next one.